massacre just got even worse. You will not believe today's video. We'll be looking in depth as to the deliberate lack of response by government officials in Maui and even President Joe Biden's insulting offer to Hawaiians. We'll also be discussing how those in Maui with homes still standing, they're actually being evicted. And we're going to talk about so much more. Make sure you do not skip forward on this video. Watch the entire thing, as I promise, you're going to see things that mainstream media absolutely does not want you to see. Let's begin.
Do you regret not sounding the sirens?
I do not. And the reason why...
So many people said they could have been saved if they had time to escape. Had a siren gone off, they would have known that there was a crisis emerging. And as we know, so many bodies were found in the ground as the flames caught their heels.
Give me the answer. The sirens, as I mentioned earlier, is used primarily for tsunamis, and that's the reason why many of them are found, almost all of them are found, on the coastline. The public is trained to seek higher ground in the event that the siren is sounded. Having sounded the siren that night, we're afraid that people would have gone Mauka, and if that was the case, then they would have gone into the fire. By the way, I should also note that there are no sirens Mauka, or on the mountainside, where the fire was spreading down. So even if we sounded the siren, it would not have saved those people on the mountainside.
Maui Emergency Management Agency Director Herman Andaya, who reportedly made the final decision against activating the emergency sirens in Lahaina, Maui, has resigned. The sirens were meant to alert residents of imminent tsunamis, wildfires, terrorist attacks, etc. Residents have concluded the use of the sirens would have saved countless lives, but Director Andaya said he had no regrets about refusing to activate the sirens. Hawaiian Governor Josh Green has consistently defended the refusal to use sirens. Should the director be prosecuted in relation to the deaths of over 100 plus citizens of Lahaina? The devastating situation in Maui has proved once again that the U.S. government is incompetent and unreliable in a time of need. The emergency chief refused to sound the city's evacuation alarms in an emergency. The deputy director in charge of water refused to open waterways to help firefighters who begged for it. Now check this video out, which completely proves that the man you just heard, Herman Andaya, who was giving excuses, well, he completely lied.
So in the state of Hawaii, we have a statewide alert and warning system, which we also call SAWS. That involves not only the siren warning system, but as well as IPAWS. IPAWS is the Integrated Public Alerts and Warning System provided by FEMA, and that has the emergency alert system, also known as EAS. It also has the wireless emergency alerts, which is known as WEA. We also use sirens for hurricanes, brush fires, flooding, lava, hazmat conditions, or even a terrorist event. We have over 400 sirens spread out through 4 counties. Our sirens have a rating of 121 decibels. We have to visit each siren minimal once a year for preventive maintenance. Our role in the state of Hawaii in emergency management, especially telecommunications, is to prevent loss of life and to minimize property damage.
There you have it, folks. The Hawaiian government's own website says that the sirens should be used for fires. Those sirens are supposed to be used for multiple types of disasters.
Colin Rugg tweeted, Maui Emergency Management Agency Chief Herman Andaya has resigned due to health reasons after he refused to play sirens to alert Maui residents of the fire. He should be dragged away in handcuffs and thrown in jail instead. At least 111 people are dead, and this clown doesn't regret not alerting them before they were burned alive. Criminal. So now we've seen officials in Maui not only purposely not sounding the emergency sirens, but also purposely saying no to using the vast amounts of water available to put out the fires. What is happening here? Forgive me if I'm wrong here, but when there's an emergency taking place, shouldn't it be all hands on deck? Shouldn't officials do everything they possibly can, like sound the emergency alarms and use the water that's available to put out the fires? As we've discussed on previous videos this week, the other aspect to all of this is the land grab that's going on. Listen as a Maui resident discusses a meeting between the Hawaii governor and land developers.
Long term? I need to get our people back home.
I just came from a meeting run by the governor. All these developers were talking about forget the permit process. We're going to build homes, not in Lahaina, and make these homes available. You know what the truth of that is? They like fast track their development, and they're not fucking helping the people over here. There was not one conversation in this meeting about the people. Every conversation that was had, every developer that came up there and talked about what they could offer was about getting rid of the permits so that they can steal water from our streams, they can fucking fast track westernization development, and forget about the culture and place. That's gonna be our hardest journey in this long road to recovery.
To add insult to injury, now those fortunate enough to still have homes left standing are now facing yet another obstacle: eviction.
Do not give up Maui. Do not let them take your land. They are giving eviction notices to people whose houses didn't burn down. That shouldn't be legal. The court took time to write an eviction notice. I knew there was evil in this world, but Jesus Christ. The landlord had to go to the court, file the petition, and then managed to get that done in under a fucking week, and we can't get aid? Evict somebody?
FEMA also authorized one-time payments of $700 per household to folks who've been displaced, so they can do the immediate things of just taking care of medications and prescriptions that they so badly need.
President Biden sent an embarrassing and insulting $700 to Maui fire victims, and that's per household, while requesting an additional $40 billion of emergency funding to Ukraine.
So you're in an informational black hole. I don't know that Joe Biden's message has even reached the people of West Maui. But I will say this. I saw that $700 is going to be sent to the families of Lahaina. Now, I just did some quick math, Pete. There's about 13,000 residents of Lahaina. Times $700, that's $1.9 million. I think this week we announced another $40 billion for Ukraine. I'm not sure where we are at this point, Pete, but I believe it's something like $140 billion total for Ukraine. And last I checked, this is the United States of America, as is East Palestine, Ohio. So I don't know why it's so hard, comparatively, to rally for America and so easy, comparatively, to support Ukraine.
Yeah, the forgotten men and women on an island, forgotten today by the administration, distracted by so many other things.
$700 in Hawaii, the most expensive state in America, is equivalent to about $350 in the rest of the states. Again, this is per household, not per survivor. As a thank you, there is a nice warm welcome awaiting Joe Biden in Hawaii on the road to Lahaina. Over 1 week has passed, and still zero aid is getting to Americans who are suffering in Maui. Maybe that aid was given to Ukraine.
These are people who stood up in the midst of this tragedy and did everything they could to help each other. The sad part is we are 8 days past this wildfire, and I'm in constant touch with these community members and leaders. They are still not seeing response from the county, the state, the federal government to be able to go out and help them. The community support hubs that they have are 100% community-led.
So who owns Maui? After the state of Hawaii, who owns over 154,000 acres on Maui, Alexander and Baldwin is the second largest landowner at over 65,000 acres, and the U.S. government is the third largest landowner at over 33,000 acres. Okay, so let's take a look at the investors behind Alexander and Baldwin. BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street. Interesting, don't you think? What's also interesting is just how intense and unusual these fires seem to be lately. All right, we've made it this far. Let's put on our tinfoil hats for a moment and check out this interesting press release from 2018 titled "Aluminum Dust from Geoengineering Fueling Super Wildfires," according to author. I know. Now stick with me as we read this together. While researching for his new novel, author Dennis Mills discovered an alarming link between chemtrails and the super wildfires. The author discovered that unprecedented levels of aluminum and barium nanodust, primary components in chemtrails, both of which are incendiary, are fueling the ferocity of the super wildfires. A retired USAF Brigadier General, General Charles Jones. You know what? Let's hit the brakes. Let's stop for a second. Let's check out exactly how credible a USAF Brigadier General is. According to Wikipedia, a Brigadier General ranks above a colonel and below a Major General. Okay, let's continue. A retired U.S. Air Force Brigadier General, General Charles Jones, has been quoted from a public source as stating, "These white aircraft spray trails are the result of scientifically verifiable spraying of aluminum particles and other toxic heavy metals, polymers, and chemicals. Millions of tons of aluminum and barium are being sprayed almost daily across the U.S., stated Mills, a former naval officer and UCLA graduate." Pause once again. We have one legit U.S. Air Force general and one naval officer and UCLA graduate, both sharing facts on this. At this point, we can safely remove our tinfoil hats and check out the rest of this. Just sprinkle aluminum or barium dust on a fire and see what happens. It's nearly explosive. When wildfires break out, the aluminum barium dust results in levels of fire intensity so great as to cause firefighters to coin a new term, firenadoes, he said. The entire U.S., in addition to various other NATO countries, are being sprayed. The government has for years denied the existence of chemtrail spraying. It now calls the program by various names, all under geoengineering. According to CAL FIRE Operation Chief Steve Crawford, the fires are burning differently and more aggressively. It has been reported the fires move faster than anyone has ever seen, and barriers that in years past contained them, such as rivers, no longer do. In California's Mount Shasta region, Francis Mangle, a USDA biologist, tested and found elevated levels of aluminum in water and soil samples of 4,610 parts per million, which is 25,000 times the safe guidelines of the World Health Organization. We are now seeing cities burning down nearly every week, and today it's massive fires in British Columbia, Canada. Evacuation orders are underway as the fire is progressing and getting worse and more intense. Over 160,000 people have been evacuated with a state of emergency declared yesterday.
It was a devastating night last night. Probably one of the toughest of my career. The toughest of all of our firefighters' careers, likely. Is one of the most challenging nights of firefighting in our history. We fought hard last night to protect our community. Somebody described it to me last night in the heat of the battle as it was like 100 years of firefighting all at once in one night. And I really think that it was true. We fought 100 years worth of fires all in one night.
Switching gears now in some positive news, Elon Musk is once again helping the people of Maui by providing them with solid, reliable power via Tesla power stations and also internet via Starlink.
Let me show you what community is, okay? We're not talking about government, we're talking about private citizens. This is Hawaiian Homes, this is Archie Kalepa's house. And let me show you another community private member, not part of the community, but certainly giving to the community. Starlink, everywhere. Tesla. Batteries, running communications for this entire area of Lahaina. That is where everyone comes. I just want to show you something, okay? So you know what you're giving to, what it's helped saving, okay? Just want to show you what you become a part of as well, Elon. There's the line, right there. There's the line. That's how close it got to the community leader, Archie Kalepa's house, which is now the whole neighborhood powered by Starlink and Tesla. As they'd say, man, appreciate you.
Folks, there is so much unfolding every single day.
Well, that's it on that, Akim. I want to say, Koholo Yahabashim Yahushai, right, for allowing me to do another lesson, right. First and foremost, I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS. Shalom to the full light preaching his word and true sincerity. To you ribs, to you sisters out there learning silence and staying in order. Right? Man, things are happening at a rapid pace. Right? Now, I did not know that the aluminum that they were spraying us with was explosive. You know, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, there was a lot of theories as to why they were spraying aluminum. You know, it was either to help the Blue Beam Project, it's helped to, you know, lower the intelligence of the people. There's a lot of speculation on it. To this day, we really don't 100% sure know what it's about, but what we do know is that now we know is that it's definitely helping the fires, right? Because this damn devil, Billy Gates of hell, he thinks that he could do that allegedly to block out the sun to help global warming, but we know what he's about. He's about killing, murder, and profit. And I saw a video which appeared to be like a laser or a beam being activated at the time of the fires, man. It don't take much. You ever seen a magnifying glass and, you know, somebody trying to like burn an ant through the sun? It was something like that. And you saw it in the night. They did it in the nighttime. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. Let me just type in keywords: laser, beam, seen in Hawaii fire.
Rather than settling for something that's in stock somewhere else, with
Slack it
Emblem's
for
free
the,
customization
commercials.
app, you'll be actually creating
Wildfires has now grown to 100 and Philip round.
It was, the wind was so crazy.
No, that's not it. This is it right here, Salakia. Man, you can see it in the picture right there. I don't know why. Space laser beam started Hawaii fires. Let's see. I'm pretty sure they're gonna get rid of these videos.
Oh my gosh. Shoreline. Oh my gosh, look at the harbor. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about
I can't find it right now because I
Oh my gosh. Pretty unreal. And be advised, we've been told that 2 Navy 60s are inbound. We've also been told they're going to hold offshore until we go to refuel. Oh my gosh. And also there's a Scan Eagle being operated at 1,000.
Yeah, I can't find it, to be honest with you. I'm not about to click all these videos. I'm pretty sure they're not going to last long. But you can see it in the picture. See that picture right there? See that beam? It's just wild, man. You know what it reminds me of? HAARP. Take a look at what HAARP does. Let me see. HAARP. What is HAARP? High Frequency Active Aurora Research Program. Right? It says is a University of Alaska Fairbanks program which researches the ionosphere, the highest ionized part of the Earth's atmosphere. Let's see what it does here. Let's look at the conspiracy that they're talking about. What HAARP is. Right? Conspiracy just means a plan, a secret plan. You know, among people with power, you know, to change things in a negative way. Right? It says, a Facebook post claimed that HAARP research facility in Alaska can control Earth weather by vibrating metal particles in the atmosphere. Now, we've seen, I want your brothers and sisters out there who's listening to look up HAARP if you have not looked up what HAARP is. Right? It all makes sense. But man, they're trying to build these small cities, these 15-minute cities, pretty soon, because the scriptures talk about that you're gonna want to leave the city. You know, you're gonna be stuck. You ain't gonna be able to go. anywhere. Pretty much, it's a captive city. Like you can't travel from one city to another. Everything's gonna be conveniently in one area, right? But who knows? The Lord might put an end to that before it even gets started, Lord willing. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the scriptures talk about, you know, when they're on the table trying to fill their belly, the Lord's just gonna come out and just slap the plate out of their face. And that's what we're waiting for, Lord willing, that, you know, we're not in this that long that, you know, we have to live in these cities and nothing like that. But there's a lot of shit coming, man. A lot of things are moving. You know, people are starting to wake up, man. Famine of the word is coming because the information is out, and that's what they don't want. They don't want educated people. They don't want guns, right? And with that, I'm going to say shalom.